So, Commie Comrade Deblasio says it's his mission in life to redistribute wealth. I wonder if he's going to do that with his own wealth. I wonder if he's going to do that with the $2 million a year his wife gets to hire redecorators of his house and personal assistants to do his shopping for him. I wonder if he's going to do that. No, he's not going to do that. He doesn't want to take away his wife's little slush fund. No. Isn't he worth like $30 million or something? He's worth a lot of money too, isn't he? Where'd he make all that money from? Yeah, it's a good question. I'd like to know. Anyhow, before I get into this story, I'd like to ask those of you out there that like and appreciate the raw and red-pilled nature of my content to please consider going and making a donation at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That is therealistphilosopher.com/donate. There's 3 ways you can donate. Number 1, to my Bitcoin wallet address. If you know anything about Bitcoin, you know how to send money to and from wallet addresses. Number 2, Cash App, which allows you to send money via a completely anonymous app on your phone. And number 3 is my Patreon, which is a per-piece platform. I make about 8 pieces a month. So you donate $1, that's $8 a month, 50 cents, $4 a month. Whatever you're comfortable donating. Any amount helps. And you get a lot of nice little extra perks as a contributing member of my channel. So go check that out, therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. So, Comrade Deblasio thinks it's his job in life to give your excess money to people who have no excess money for whatever reason. Of course, he's a commie, so he thinks the reason they have no money is because you have money. Because it's all a zero-sum game, And it's just a shifting around of the wealth. And, of course, there's been the same amount of wealth in the world since the beginning. Oh, is that a fact, Mr. Blasio? Yeah, how'd this guy become mayor? Oh, my God. Who funded his campaign? Who wrote his speeches? Who got this guy into fucking power? Soros, I'm guessing. Oh, this should be good. So Big Apple Mayor Bill de Blasio doubled down in his class warfare rhetoric. That might explain why all the rich people have now left New York and they're begging and pleading for money from the federal government that they would get in this new coronavirus relief bill if Trump passes it. We defunded our cops by $1 billion so we could give poor people in the hood free internet for computers they by and large don't have. Whoa! Brilliant. We need equality in the form of internet usage. Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant. Brilliant, Mr. de Blasio. Oh, you commie pinko scumbag, you. That's great. Everything's got to be equal. What about equal incarceration? Oh, no. We need to have no black people in jail. Just all white people. Because there's been so many black people in jail for so long. Now we need to equalize things by completely upending the ship and making it 100% whitey and 0% blackie. Doesn't sound very equal to me. Of course, anybody that knows anything about communism knows it's not about equality at all. So he's going after the rich people, yeah, and basically anybody that has any wealth and saying, no, we got to redistribute that. I'm Mr. Robin Hood. Yeah. I wonder if Robin Hood, siphoned off any of that money for himself. I'm guessing he did. I'm guessing he lived a nice, comfortable lifestyle off that money he robbed from the rich to give to the poor. I got to get something for my effort, I deserve to get paid real well for robbing from the rich to give to the poor. How much? 10%? 20% off the top, Mr. Robin Hood? I wonder how much the de Blasio's getting off the top. Quite a bit, no doubt. Yeah. So he goes on to say that, we need to deal with structural racism by redistributing wealth. Yeah, structural racism that can't even be proven to exist. Yeah. And that you claim exists by outcome and not by empirical evidence. Yeah. There's more black men in jail than white men, so that means structural racism. Couldn't it mean that just black people are committing more crimes? No, you racist scum! Okay. This is a video here. I think we need to check this out. Okay, so here's Commie Blasio with his mime for the deaf. Yeah, okay, he's got his mime up there in the little box. Sign language dude. Okay, let's begin.
That was bad news, but let's turn to good news now. Let's turn to the things that we can do, because we do take care of our own people here in New York City.
Whoa, what does that mean? They can't take care of themselves. We take care of our own people here. Oh, as long as they're not rich. Then we steal their shit.
And we are now, thank God, dealing with a good reality. We're in a new era because the vaccine is here.
Wait. Okay, so first of all, the vaccine is untested. I've heard about a lot of people getting palsy in their face, dropping dead. We don't know what the side effects are large scale, so. But we're in a good place. Yeah, we're in a good place with a virus that is so lethal that you need to get tested to know you have it. Yeah. It's on par with the flu, but somehow. It's a pandemic, just like the flu is a pandemic. It's as dangerous as the flu. And by the way, didn't the flu disappear? Where'd the flu go? The flu's gone. Nobody's dying from flu. Now everybody's dying from fucking coronavirus. Well, it's just because people's wearing masks and social distancing. Well, if that's the case, then shouldn't less people be dying from coronavirus too? Are you saying that the masks and the social distancing don't work for coronavirus and they only work for the flu? Then why are we social distancing and wearing masks? Oh, well, more people would be dying if we didn't. Well, how is it nobody's dying from flu then? Okay, let's just continue with this idiot.
And everywhere I go in New York City, I talk to people about the fact that the vaccine is here, and it's really lifting spirits and it's giving people hope.
Really? Then why are you shutting down every fucking restaurant and every small business in New York?
So now it's time to focus on how we turn the page on the coronavirus, how we make 2021 a much better year.
Well, just open up your state. Doesn't this idiot still have fucking quarantines? If you go into New York now as a tourist, you have to quarantine and stay in New York for 2 weeks? The borders around the whole goddamn state are closed. If you go in, you can't get out. You gotta sneak out in the fucking woods. Like some kind of Jewish refugee trying to get out of fucking Poland during World War II. Oh, that's lovely. Why don't you stop doing that? Why don't you open your state up? Why don't you just stop this social distancing and this quarantine bullshit and all this shutdown stuff since the fucking vaccine is now here? And you've already admitted that masks don't work. Oh, so why don't you just get rid of that stuff? No, because this isn't about the virus, it's about power.
And that begins with what we need to do for our children.
Oh, I love it. Here we go with the shield. The Greta Thunberg move. Here we go.
For so many of us, this is our heart, how we help our children, how we protect them, how we help them move forward.
How we use our children to advance our ideological narrative. We'll put them out in front of us like human meat shields so that the other side cannot dare criticize us because how dare you attack the little childrens?
And our kids have been through so much. Let's remember,
our kids have been through so much. Yeah, they run around, act crazy, no school, sitting around eating fucking bonbons and fucking donuts all day and playing video games. Oh yeah, their lives have been so difficult. While their parents can't pay rent. And are completely, totally fucking worried and living in an anxious life every day on the edge of poverty and homelessness. Oh, but the kids, their lives are so hard. Yeah.
Adult out there listening, you've been through so much in this horrible year, 2020. But our kids are going through so much in every sense, and it's harder for them to make sense of.
So the kids are going through harder times? Bullshit. Fuck off. By the way, doesn't this guy only have one kid and she's grown and she looks like, Mr. T from the 80s? Big fucking mohawk, wankadoo bug-eyed broad with face tattoos and shit. Oh, yeah. He's got one of these woke Marxist kids. Oh, God.
They're going through trauma.
What trauma? Oh, you pussy boy, you. What trauma? Trauma's getting the hell beat out of you every day by your parents. Having to sit around and play video games all day is not trauma.
They're going through a lot of pain.
Fuck off. No, they're not.
And they need our help.
No, their parents, who you're not allowing to work unless they have what you consider to be a necessary job, are the ones that need help.
And we have to make sure that help reaches every child, and we particularly need to focus on kids in the communities hardest hit.
Yeah, notice how he's focusing on kids and not on the adults, because what the adults need is the thing that he doesn't want to give them, because if he gives it to them, then he no longer has power over them.
By COVID. We always talk about those 27 neighborhoods in New York City that bore the brunt of the COVID crisis. African-American neighborhoods, Latino neighborhoods, Asian neighborhoods that really got hit so hard, and all those disparities that came out.
You mean the same neighborhoods that you went into and told everybody that there was just, it was just a false panic. There's no threat. Go out and party. Oh, it's Chinese New Year? Well, chinkadoos, get out there and party hardy, yo. Have orgies, have nighttime festivals. Oh, you're a member of BLM and Antifa? It's okay for 100,000 of you to burn shit down, loot and pillage, and get together in large groups. Oh, you want to protest wearing masks? Fuck you, we're going to put you in jail. Oh, yeah, meanwhile, because of this very early on imposed ignorance, purposeful ignorance of the threat, lots of places in your state got hit hardest. Yeah, well, that's your own fault. That was what they wanted, by the way, so they could then justify all these shutdowns.
We talk about that to focus our energies, focus our attention on making sure we do what the people of those neighborhoods need.
Okay, notice everything he's saying is nonspecific and focused on playing to your emotions, and there's not really anything he's talking about empirical. This is called sophistry. Emotional pleading, emotional rhetoric to play to your emotions and not to your logic and reasoning ability.
And that they get the priority going forward. We've got to right the wrong by making them the priority.
I'm amazed he said Asians, because they're doing better than Blackie and Brown, man. Oh, so let me get this straight. So if you're black or brown, you deserve more help, more aid. You're the priority, not whitey. Because that's how we make things fair. By treating white people in a discriminatory manner. Doesn't seem to jive too much with anti-discrimination laws and how you fucking leftists are always talking about how discrimination is bad. Only if it's against the black and brown man, not if it's against whitey. Discriminating against whitey is fine. You killed my mama, so I'm gonna kill your mama, and then we'll be equal. I love the reasoning. Yeah, this is the eye for an eye bullshit, right? Yeah, that leaves the whole world blind, but it's perfectly okay. Yeah. Especially to punish people who are totally and completely innocent of the crimes that you are persecuting them for.
So that's what we will be doing.
Yeah, racial justice. Lovely, you commie, pinko, scumbag you.
As we go into 2021, as we go into the next school year, we talked over the last couple of weeks about our 2021 Student Achievement Plan.
Oh, boy.
How we're going to close the COVID achievement gap.
What does that mean? What does that mean? COVID achievement? What does that mean? Are you telling me that COVID is preventing certain students from advancing in their education? Oh, I see, because I think I see where he's going with this, because some kids are too poor to afford home tutors and private teachers, and some kids can. I love the implication that it falls along racial lines, by the way. The bigotry of the soft bigotry of low expectations. The implication here is, of course, that whitey, who is in a minority, can afford these things while black and brown people cannot. So I need to come in and steal from whitey so that blackie and brownie can continue to advance educationally. Oh, yeah, COVID achievement gap. What a moron.
We're going to do that for every child. We're going to particularly...
No, you're not... If you're going to do that for every child, then there wouldn't be a COVID achievement gap. A gap means that there's some groups that are better than others. So you're not going to be helping the groups that are better than others because you're using them as a point of comparison to show that there's a fucking achievement gap, and you want to make up that gap. You're not going to contribute to the gap, you moron. So of course you're not going to help everybody, you pinhead, you!
Focus on those neighborhoods that have been hurting the most and the kids who need it the most.
So that's not everybody. He just contradicted himself. Did you hear it? Oh, my God. How'd this guy become mayor? Have IQs dropped that sharply? Yeah, they have.
I will tell you something pretty unusual that happened the last few days.
As if what you're saying right now isn't unusual. Oh, my God. All right. Go ahead, idiot.
Something I said a few days ago. We're talking about how we address fairness and equity in our schools. And we talked about how...
Fairness and equity. I don't want to hear about it. Fairness and equity. I don't want to hear about your quality of outcome bullshit. Not everybody's equal, you pinhead. Some kid with 75 IQ is not going to do as well as a kid with 120 IQ. It's just that simple, pinhead. Learn to deal with that reality.
How we create more diversity in our schools. How we address a segregated past.
We don't need more diversity. Diversity comes from the root word divide. You want more diversity so you can divide us more. Create more schisms so that later on, commie, pinko, scumbags like you can then conquer and take over. Divide and conquer. I pass on your diversity crap.
And move forward. How we create fairness and justice. We talked about that.
So diversity creates fairness and justice.
On Friday, And Fox News apparently was very interested in that, and they quoted one of the sentences that I said. I said that we needed to recognize, if we were going to address all this structural inequality, structural racism,
that you haven't proven exists,
we would actually have to do things differently.
But some groups do better than others. That's proof positive of structural racism. No, it's not. It's just proof positive that some groups do better than others. It doesn't address why. Of course, you come in with your presuppositional arguments that it's racism.
So here's the quote from Fox News.
Yeah, hey, Pinhead, I can read. I know you think I probably couldn't. At least if I was black or brown, you probably think I couldn't read this, so you need to read it to me. But I can read. It's just fine, but go ahead anyway.
They said NYC mayor sees the redistribution of wealth as an important factor toward ending structural racism in education. I'm going to say it one more time in case Fox News is watching again. NYC mayor sees the redistribution of wealth as an important factor towards ending structural racism in education. Exactly right. I don't...
He's a communist! That's a communist talking point.
Get to say it very often, but Fox News got it exactly right. Amen. We all...
Amen. Of course, you're an atheist, pal, so, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think some people could use a little religion right now if it took the place of this leftist progressive mumbo-jumbo.
Are going to fight structural racism through redistribution. So, Fox News, congratulations. Fair and balanced coverage right there. In fact, if we think we're going to deal with structural racism and segregation without redistributing wealth, we're kidding ourselves.
Yeah, because there's been a fixed amount of wealth in the world since the beginning. Nobody creates wealth at all. And if I acknowledge that wealth is created, then I would be acknowledging that some people deserve the wealth that they have, which would mean that it wasn't distributed, because if every little bit of wealth out there that does exist was just getting shuffled around and distributed, then it's perfectly okay to redistribute. But if wealth is created, that means somebody created it and has a right to it. I'll never acknowledge that with my $30 million that he actually stole.
Real about nothing changes unless you put the resources behind it. And that's what we're doing. We're going to make sure...
the resources. You mean steal from some people to give to others? Yeah.
Our kids have the support they need. Now...
What's the kids again? Always the kids. Always the kids as a shield. Always the kids as a pretext for your commie bullshit.
Now, and especially in the new school...
How about the kids? How about the kids' parents do better? How about you stop trying to be the mommy and daddy of every fucking buddy, including all the fucking kids out there? And how about their parents take responsibility and make better fucking decisions and have kids with somebody who's a good guy, and the guy has kids with a woman who's a good woman, which is much more difficult to find these days because so many of them are encouraged to be sluts and whores and sleep with every dude they can because it's somehow virtuous to act more like a man, as they view men anyway, which is really just a gross caricature and not an accurate representation of how men are. How about you stop trying to be everybody's mommy and daddy so that the mommy and daddies out there make better life choices and then they can look out for their own kids and make sure their own kids do better. Oh no, that would be calling people to task and making them be personally responsible for their actions. Can't have that.
Clear when everyone comes back into the school buildings. And that doesn't just mean the academic support. It means the emotional support as well. It means making sure the social factor is taken account of as well.
So, communism, socialism, yeah. We're all in this together. Your problem is my problem. No, it's not.
Social and emotional learning.
Social and emotional learning. What does that mean? Oh, right. He believes that everything is a social construct. And, of course, he's going to tell you what you need to know about society. Because it's all a social construct, right? So, and my social construct is better than the social construct that exists now, and I'm going to make you learn that social construct. And emotional learning, what does that mean? And make you into a good, useful idiot NPC so that I can constantly fill you with new programming. Okay. Get that, you.
That's something the Chancellor's focused on. That's something the First Lady is focused on. But it takes on...
You mean your wife who plunders $2 million a year from the New York City coffers to pay her personal assistants and her private shoppers? I see.
Even more importance as we go into this new school year, September 2021, it'll be different than anything we've ever experienced in our lives. So we have to make sure that...
By the way, if you care so much about equality, why don't you just give every child out there choice, school choice, so they can choose the best schools to go to? which would create incentive for the bad schools to do better, or they would lose funding. Why don't you do that? Oh, no, he really doesn't care about equality. Doesn't really care about equality of outcome or opportunity. He's just an opportunist.
We are really looking out for our kids, that we're checking in on them.
Yeah, we've seen what you did to your kids, pal. I don't want you looking out for my kids. You wackadoo, bug-eyed, woke kid.
See what they need, and if they need help, we're getting it to them.
No, need more commie talk. From each according to his abilities, to each according to his need. Yeah, fuck you and your needs. I don't care what you need. Why do you need it? I care.
And this has been an idea that has long been a core notion of Thrive NYC. One of the foundational concepts of Thrive NYC is...
What is this? Social, emotional, and academic behavioral screenings. What the fuck?
Get there early. Help people, particularly young people, early. Provide this.
Get students the support they need. Make sure every... It sounds like an indoctrination program into wokeism, leftism, Marxism. Make sure every child who needs it gets access to care. I don't know what that means. Very non-specific. Making sure every child has access to social academic support. Geez, an excuse to spend more money than we already do on your dumb students. We're dumb because of people like you.
Support. And if you find out there's a problem, you can do something about it. That's what Thrive has been all about. So here to tell you about this really important new initiative for all our public schools and the way it's going to reach all our school kids. The leading champion for providing mental health support to all the people of New York City.
Mental health support? I thought we were talking about education. Now we're talking about mental health support for our kids? God, yeah. They're going to need it with you as mayor of fucking New York City. God, that's for sure.
The person who brought us Thrive NYC, our First Lady, Charlene McCray.
Oh, no, his wife. Yeah. She's a uber commie Marxist. That must be some good poon. She's an ugly broad, by the way. I want to get a close look at her before we tune these idiots out.
Thank you, Bill. And good morning, everyone. I don't know if...
Oh, my God. Ghetto pig! She's going to start speaking Ebonics and going to break into rap here in a second. My God, that's a hideous woman. Wow. Holy shit. What is that? What the fuck is that thing she's wearing? It looks like a couch my parents had in the 70s when I was young. As a kid. That's a hideous fucking jacket, lady. You spend millions of the taxpayers' fucking dollars on your fucking outfits, your wardrobe every year. You can't do better than that? Oh, my God. All right. Tune this broad out. So there you go. Commie Deblasio needs to educate you behaviorally and emotionally. Yeah. Make some more useful idiots who'll be loyal, sheeple voters so he can be in office forever. That's the new God Emperor of Dune right there. He wants to live forever and be your Lord and Savior forever. Yeah, him and his commie wife, Greg, and this woke, commie, Marxist, wackadoo kid with her buckeyes and her mohawk. His shaved head, except for the mohawk. An ugly female version of Mr. T. Ay vey. Anyway, let me know what you thought of what Mr. Commie Deblasio said about providing for the woke needs of our kids and him using all our kids, including his own, apparently, as shields to advance his progressive leftist narrative. Pulling a Greta Thunberg. Let me know in the comment section, and please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. BitChute.com/The Realist Philosopher. And again, if you really like and appreciate the raw, ripple nature of the content I produce, maybe you'll go check out my website, TheRealistPhilosopher.com, and click on the donate button in the upper right-hand corner. I could really use your help and support.